Everyone, it's Fitz with your post-game power talk. Kansas State escapes with a 34-27 victory. It was one of the ugliest wins you will ever see in your life. This Kansas State team has a lot of improving to do. They just kind of look not fully engaged in the first half again, and they came out in the second half and were better, but it just doesn't quite seem to be the crispness in this offense I think we all expected. And Avery's having problems settling in. He really is. They've got to reevaluate their play calling, sequencing, and early game situations to try to get him more involved. And I think the most disturbing thing is if you've watched Avery play from high school, even up into last year, he was a definitive runner. He ran with purpose. He knew what he was doing. Now he looks a little shy. And I almost wonder if the coaches have harped on the injury situation so much that it's gotten into Avery's head a little bit. At the end of the day, though, even when the defense had some just horrific breakdowns on the back end, something that Joe Klanderman mentioned to us as he was eating his salad, his post-game meal, that they got a lot to fix and it's a short week. Arizona's really good. So those problems that we saw out here stopping Tulane are going to convert to a lot of points for Arizona on Friday night if they don't fix this. And I'm just going to be blunt here. I'm incredibly disappointed in how this team played. Yeah, they got the win. And at the end of the day, that's really what counts. But they just didn't seem like they were in this game. Now, the tunnel they were coming out of is just right here. The field's right there. Before the first half and the second half, they lightly jogged onto the field. And I know that's a little thing, but they just never looked like they were fully involved in this game. Now, there were some guys that made huge plays. Absolutely Austin Romaine with that quarterback strip, and Jack Fabris with the scoop and score. Amazing BJ Payne. We just interviewed him. He was still carrying the ball. He said he only put it down and go in the shower, and I was surprised he did that. He was holding that Tulane game ball, and it's going back to Manhattan. Don't tell the authorities. And offensively, what do you say about DJ Giddens? I mean, this guy's a warrior. I think at times it maybe got a little too predictable with him, particularly on that last offensive possession where they were 3 and out. I thought that was just really predictable play calling. What I found most interesting is how little they used Dylan Edwards in this game compared to how effective he was. They hardly played him in the first half. He was out there for a few plays, and then the second half they brought him back and he started making plays. In fact, he had 2 big runs to get them down into scoring position, and then they took him off the field in case they ended up kicking a field goal. So that was kind of frustrating to watch how they kind of neglected one of their key weapons that they have that can really make a difference for this team. They've got to get Dylan Edwards on the field more and more involved in a variety of things. But right now they're really predictable. When Dylan Edwards comes in, Dylan Edwards gets the ball. And that's a tendency that everyone's going to see, and maybe that's just setting up for future things. But I think they're going to have to open it up quite a bit against Arizona and let this offense do their thing. As Chris Kleiman said after the game, and I thought this was really notable, they don't know what their identity is. They're not playing to any identity on either side of the ball. They don't know if they're going to be a zone team or a man team, and they certainly like to pressure the quarterback, which was a turning point in the game when they decided just to come after the freshman quarterback, and he did look uncomfortable in that situation. And of course, it led to him fumbling and him throwing an interception. So that part of it worked. Offensively, this is not at all what I think any of us envisioned from this offense with Dylan Edwards and Avery Johnson and DJ Giddens and those receivers and those tight ends. And part of the problem, it's time for a straight talk. The offensive line isn't very good right now. It just isn't. So people are talking about the play calling. I'm more worried about the line. Let Avery get a lot of pressure and didn't consistently run block. When they did, look, K-State was breaking runs. But when they didn't, it was shocking. Because if I had to say who won the point of attack on the line of scrimmage, I would probably say Tulane overall. I thought their offensive line did a great job until K-State just started overwhelming them with rushers. And I thought that Tulane defensive line did a really pretty good job with, certainly they kept Avery Johnson in front of them. They didn't let much get out of the gate. Some happened, but at the end of the day, this came down to dudes making plays. Whether it was the strip with scoop and score, the pick or that wheel route touchdown pass to DJ Giddens that wasn't even the call. Coach Kleiman explained after the game it was supposed to be a bubble screen, and the two of them knew it didn't work, so they just did their own thing. And DJ just took it up the sideline, and Avery said he saw a player go over to DJ and then not carry through, and he just saw DJ run away from the guy, and he just laid it out there for him. Great play. K-State survives a game that turned into kind of a chaotic affair. You've got to be better than that. Arizona comes to town on Friday. It's going to be a huge game, even though it's a non-conference game. If you still have problems in your pass defense and on the back end of your defense, Arizona's going to have one hell of a night at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. That's got to be a concern going forward. This team has to be a lot better from now on, or they're going to lose a lot of games. That's it for this one. I got a daily delivery to record for tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the game, even though it lasted 17 hours. So one of the longest football games I've ever covered.